And now, Deborah Kobylt Live.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for Deborah Kobylt Live. Have a fun show with somebody that I've known for a while, Stacey Beaman, co-founder of Plyo Jam. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I love sort of the organic way that we got to know each other. You are co-founder of Plyo Jam with my friend Jason Layden, who used to work at a beach club that I used to go to quite often. And we would chat and chat and chat. And I used to say to myself, this guy's got so many great ideas. He's going to go somewhere. Well, now look at him, right? And you together, right? He's an incredible guy, as are you, and the perfect team and match. First of all, tell us, what is Plyo Jam for those folks who might not know what it is?
Sure. Yeah. So Plyo Jam is a dance fitness format. And what we do is we combine pretty easy to follow hip hop style moves with plyometrics, which are a fancy way of saying explosive, elevated movement. Okay. And so, classes are typically an hour long, the live classes, and it's really made for everybody who loves to dance, loves music, but you don't have to be a great dancer. You can get in there even with not much dance experience.
Your moves and Jason's moves are unbelievable. I've taken your class many, many times. I can't believe I forgot to send the guys over at the studio some of my pictures. Maybe we'll insert it later. Okay. It's really fun. And I try to, keep up, and it's easy, but it's an amazing workout, right? How do you guys come up with the routines?
You know what? Those routines are very carefully curated. They seem pretty casual and easy to follow, but we really think them through, because what we want to do is we want to create a workout that anyone can do. Like I said, we want accessibility to anybody, but we also want those people who do love dancing to feel like they are like Bay's backup dancer. You know what I mean?
It's a little bit, what is plyometrics? What is that?
So plyometrics were historically used to train Olympic athletes, elite athletes. It's basically explosive movements off the ground. Traditionally, that you would use like a box to maybe jump up on. So what we call our moves are plyometric inspired. So we're taking moves and just elevating them off the ground, which makes a huge difference in effectiveness and calorie burn, really.
No, it really does, because you jump. There's jumping jacks. I love how you both incorporate a lot of the movement with the arms. Mm-hmm. And then it's really, as you're doing it, you don't really realize how much benefit you're getting from it. And you're never too far off from the ground, but yet you're using that gravity, right, to help you.
Absolutely. It does. It's a huge benefit, and it's really what makes our concept so unique compared to some other dance fitness formats. However, what we really love about our format is that if you aren't someone that wants to jump, you don't ever have to leave the ground. So it really provides that option for as intense as you want to go or as modified as you want to go.
I will tell you, I'm one of those people who won't jump because my knee's kind of messed up from all the marathoning I've done. So I won't jump, and it's clearly easily as effective. If you want to jump, that's great too. Let's talk a little bit about how you got into even the business, how you met Jason, and then I do want to jump into a lot of your business now is online and streaming. So we'll get into that a little later. So go ahead.
Sure. So Jason and I were actually just kind of acquaintances, friends. We met through mutual friends. And one time I was at a party with him, and, he and I, it was funny. I have to say, Jason and I have a very symbiotic relationship. And it was like from day one that we had that. And we were just like, I don't even know, Lucy and Desmond. I don't know what you would call it. And who knows which one is Lucy, to be honest. But like we just had this great symbiotic relationship. And I had been a school teacher for 10 years in the Conejo Valley Unified School District here in Southern California. And I knew I was ready to move on from teaching, but I had no idea what I wanted to move on. So I left my teaching job without having something else I was going to do. I was actually going to go travel for a year to have my eat, pray, love moment, right? And then during that time, right before I left to go on that journey, I was at a party with Jason, and he says, well, what are you doing with yourself for the next 8 weeks until you go on your trip? And I said, to be honest, I really need to work out. I need to get in shape because, in Europe, you're not driving, you're walking everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Which is a great way to lose weight right there, but you want to at least go as fit as you can, right?
Right. And Deborah, I'm not going to lie. I was so out of shape. I was so overweight. I had let myself go. I had had a divorce and I wasn't happy in my career, and I had really let myself go. And so, when he asked me to come to this dance class that he taught called PlyoJam, I was very nervous because I was a size 20. We know that what people look like on the west side of LA, typically in fitness classes. Yeah, they're tiny. And I was like, I'm going to huff and puff. I don't even have the right clothes, but Jason.
Go hide in the back of the room. I've done that 100 times. Don't look at me. I'm back here and then I'm leaving. I got you.
Exactly. So you know where my mindset was, right? And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was giving him lip service at first. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come. But
you probably wanted to, but you were too nervous, right? I got you. Yeah.
I was terrified. And I think that, we as women do that in many categories, not just fitness. But what I will always be thankful to Jason about is he kept being insistent. He texted me that night. So I'm going to see you at my next class. Next day, I'm going to see you. Are you on your way? I mean, he pushed me. And something clicked in me that said, you know what, Stacey, you've just left your job to like start a whole new life. You have to start saying yes, even to things that get scary. And that was the beginning of this new life. I went to my first class. I walked in. I was all the things I was afraid of. I was out of shape. I looked like hell, whatever. But it gave me this feeling of hope and joy that I had not experienced in so long. And it just made me say, this is something, and this is something that needs to go big. So what happened is I kind of like morphed from me taking a class of Jason's as a student to him and I, we'd go for coffee after class and we'd start sort of just dreaming about how we could make it bigger than this 1 or 2 classes.
Right. Because at the time he was doing it at 1 or 2 places around LA, the west side of LA primarily. Right.
And just him.
Right. And just him. So it was popular, but it was, smaller.
It was definitely smaller.
Yeah. So you guys were chatting about it. And then when did like the light bulb go off?
When we started talking about how we were going to build an instructor program and what that was going to look like and how we could, because it was getting popular and people wanted more classes than Jason could possibly teach on his own. And so that was when it got really exciting. We started putting together this entire manual and instructor program. And we started holding like certifications to certify other instructors to teach.
Wow. And then you pretty much had a spot where you were doing it from, right? In West LA primarily. And then that's right.
Yeah. More dancing in Brentwood sort of became the hub for Plyo Jam. And, in our business model, we never really wanted to open our own studio. We wanted just to be where we certified instructors and they could go teach at gyms, studios, rec centers, whatever. And then throughout that time, as he and I started building the business, I think it became apparent to him that I had a lot of business prowess, unbeknownst to me either. And
what did you study in school? Didn't you also study business when you were in college?
I did. I went to USC and I had a major in communication, minor in business. So there was a little bit of that background in me.
I think that helps. You don't have to have it, but it's somewhere in the back of your mind where you go, you know what? Let's try this. I think business courses can be very valuable. You certainly don't need them, but I think it probably helped you in this case because Jason is a big creative, right? And he thinks big. And you too, you also think big, but you also think in terms of business. So you marry the two of them together and there you go. You got the Plyo Jam right there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It really was a match made in heaven.
But I got to say something else. How much weight did you lose the first, how many weeks?
8 weeks. In 8 weeks, I lost 28 pounds.
Okay. Because of the jumping and the moving around and loving every minute of it. Let me be clear, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing about it was torture. Nothing about it was body punishment. It was literally like celebrating what my body could do, finding something that I loved and seeing results really because of that love and joy, not because of body punishment.
Right. And then you're walking in going, okay, I got this. Move over. I'm going more to the front of I'm going to the front of the line now. Right. It's like,
you betcha.
Yourself. And that's so amazing. I'm so happy that happened for you. Did you go to Europe after all? Did you still go on your Eat, Pray, Love?
I did go on it, which was really hard because, once you find something you love, it's hard to leave it. But, those tickets were bought and I decided I had to go. So I did. I was gone for 7.5 months. And Jason and I stayed in touch the whole time I was gone, via like Skype and FaceTime and email. And then when I came back was when we really hit the ground running in terms of building the business.
Amazing. How many countries are you in and how many instructors do you have everywhere?
So we currently have about 100 instructors and, but where our business has sort of taken a left turn in the last couple of years is going very virtual. So 2.5 years ago, we decided to build an online platform, and we are currently have members for our online platform in 49 different countries.
That's incredible because you were a little ahead of the curve, right? Because I have friends of mine, Unplug. I love her. She's a friend of mine, Susie Schwartz.
Yes.
Don't we love her? Oh my gosh, love her. But when this COVID thing happened, she's a real smart woman as well. And she immediately pivoted to online, but she hadn't really done as much of it the way you had it set up. So at least you had a little bit set up going into this, right?
Yeah, that was incredibly helpful in terms of, obviously when COVID arrived, all of our live and in-person classes got shut down for every instructor around the country and around the world. But yeah, Jason and I mean, and I'm not going to lie, like when we first built our virtual program, we had a few hundred members, but it wasn't huge. And there was part of us that was like, well, like, should we keep this going? But we loved it, and then, we've quadrupled in size in the last couple of months, and we were so amazingly grateful that we had already built it and it was just ready for people to come in.
Right. You've got people who tune in from everywhere, from where to where. I think you told me once, Yemen, you've got them tuning in from Israel, Bangladesh.
Yes.
That's pretty exciting, right? And they rely on you. And you never know what man or woman is there feeling the same way you did one day, just sort of dumpy and not really so great about themselves. And just think of what you're doing for that person and God knows where. That's pretty cool to reach all those people.
It is. It's incredibly I have so much gratitude to have that opportunity. And what I'm really especially grateful for is how vocal people are. I receive hundreds of emails from mostly women, a couple men though, from women all around the globe. I received one this morning from Jerusalem. I'm not even kidding. And just saying, until I saw someone like you, I didn't know I could do this, or I didn't know I was worthy of doing this.
Gosh, Stacey, that's so important. Whenever I see anyone full-figured or somebody who just feels like they have to lose 10 or 15 pounds, we all feel a little not so great about that because let's face it, we live in a society where being this big is still considered, prime.
Right.
But there's more people who aren't that big around, not just in LA, but everywhere. So the more we embrace ourselves to just be healthy and have a really good time, hey, you're going to get fit too. So I applaud you. I really do, for being somebody who just gets out there and doing that. Besides, you look gorgeous. Look at you. What was I saying when we were setting up our shot? I'm like, whoa, what are you doing, girl? You're looking great. Clearly, you're taking your own classes, right?
I am. I'm taking my own classes. I teach my own classes. So yeah, it keeps me going through this quarantine time for sure.
Let's talk about sort of the cool stuff that's gone on with your company. PopSugar Fitness, right? How did they find you? And that sort of really put you on the celebrity map, right?
Yeah. So PopSugar Fitness is a wonderful platform. They've got a huge YouTube channel with, I think, over 4 million followers. And one of their producers approached me. I had met her at a class or something like that. She saw what I could do. I think she followed me on Instagram and started seeing clips of what I was teaching. So she said, "What would you like to lead? We'd love to have a PlyoJam workout on PopSugar." And to be honest, Deborah, I originally was like, oh, okay, let me see what Jason's schedule is. Even after all these years, my brain went there. And she said, no, we'd like to have you. And PopSugar has certainly never featured a full-figured trainer ever on their platform. And
I love this. I love this.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, a part of me was nervous. Oh gosh, my Plyo Jam community knows me, accepts me, loves me, but how is this larger platform going to be? But I really, really said to myself, you know what, if 99 people hate me, but one person feels empowered, then it's worth it.
Job well done. Yeah. So what happened?
So I did it. And I just cannot believe, I can cry over first of all, the video just reached 1.4 million views.
Oh my God. You're super famous. Oh my God. Do you go places and they're like, that's that Stacey girl from Plyo Jam. Seriously, right?
Seriously. I was just recently, I joined a Facebook group for a completely different topic, and someone recognized me in the Facebook group. So that was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of
I get it, I know what you're like. Oh, yeah, that's me. But yeah, go ahead. And right? Would you have known this when you did your first class with Jason hiding in the back? And now look at you.
The evolution is insane. And so I just pinch myself because, and listen, I want to be very clear that I go up and down with weight and feeling all my own things that so many of us feel. But I think that the people that I'm serving are my reminder to keep going and to keep fighting for that feeling of inclusivity and representation in the fitness world. I mean, what I really found from the hundreds, if not thousands of emails I received from all of those people seeing that video was, like I said before, I was so relieved to see someone that looked like me. No shade to the other, size 0s or 2s, but like it is important for people to see, just like African Americans need to see representation, LGBTQ needs to see representation, people who are of a larger size need to see representation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about James Corden. How did that happen? Do we have a shot of that? Do we have a picture of that, Kurt, that we can put that up? I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, how did this happen? So did he take one of your classes or something? Oh my gosh, look at that. Did he take one of your classes?
Yeah. So James,
I love this.
Actually, it started with James's wife taking classes in Brentwood at the studio you and I both know very well. Right. And she approached Jason and I one day. I was there as well. It just happened to be we were both there. And she said, my husband is a host, so he doesn't have regular hours. Would you ever be willing to do privates? And we were like, absolutely. We totally do privates. Hang
on. And you didn't know who it was? You just showed up at this host house?
No idea.
Love this.
No idea. No, he showed up. We rented the studio for a private time, and in walked his wife and him. And we were like,
did you just have to like keep your cool or did you get it? Yeah. I would have died. Yeah.
No, I mean, inside I was dying, but we definitely were like, nice to meet you. And our relationship with him has now been almost 3 years on and off doing privates with him. And, he has introduced us to so many people. We did privates with him and Adele. We did privates with them and Kate Hudson. I mean, it's been an incredible, wonderful thing.
Hang on. If you end up doing privates with him and Paul McCartney, kindly call me and I will hold your pad. Okay. Because he did that amazing carpool karaoke with Paul McCartney in Liverpool. I was hyperventilating the whole time. I mean, come on. I mean, to be driving around with a true legend that'll be remembered hundreds of years from now. To me, that was like, that put him in a whole separate category.
It was iconic.
Great. Did you see it too?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God. And I know somebody who kind of works out with him a little bit when he's in Los Angeles. So you never know, Stacey. He may be one of your clients someday. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine?
No, but that's a goal. But so
bucket list.
Bucket list. Paul McCartney. Check. So you still work out with him, but I guess you do a lot of privates, right?
Yeah, we do. And so maybe 6 months ago, we got a call from James's producer of the Late Late Show, who also produces the carpool karaoke segments he does. And he said, James had this idea that for his next carpool karaoke segment, which he's doing with a global phenomenon group called BTS, a K-pop group, they are notorious for being insanely amazing dancers. And so James wanted to be like, well, I dance too. And I'd like to take the boys of BTS to my favorite dance class in Los Angeles, which is Plyo Jam.
So what happened?
So they came in. They crashed a class. I mean, of course it was all set up, but they crashed a class. They came in. And if any of your, watchers and viewers, if you just go to Late Late Show and look for carpool karaoke with BTS, you'll see like the whole dance class. Jason's teaching. I'm right in the front, right behind James. And it's a great experience. It was awesome.
That must have been such a fun experience. See, here's why. Because for someone who hasn't taken your class, and eventually someday, right, you'll be doing classes in person again. Yeah. The energy that you and Jason have is really sincere. We've all taken classes, right, with instructors, and it just feels a little bit robotic. And, you have to do the moves and you barely do them. That's the beauty of the two of you and Plyo Jam. You just feel like you're part of the fun. Right? You don't have to be perfect about it, but you're going to come out of there sweating. And didn't you once give me a quote once? You said, it's very important to break a sweat, right?
Yes.
Tell us why it's so important mentally and physically to break a sweat.
Well, I just believe that is incredibly important to your mental health. In particular, during what's been going on the last 3 months in our globe with COVID-19, and then even with the additional stress in just the last couple of weeks of, the sort of shining the light on racial inequality and things. I mean, these times in our world are very stress inducing. People are having anxiety at all time high. They're not sleeping well, all of the things, right? They're just kind of running on a rev. I always think of anxiety as like when you rev your gas pedal and you're not downshifting. It's like, zzz, that's what we're kind of all running on.
I'm not able to downshift. And last night I told you this again, when we were prepping our shot, there was a brush fire very close to where I live in the Brentwood area. And I'm like, okay, what's next? The locusts are the last thing left. It's like, they're probably next. I'm convinced of this. So I felt very badly about it because we're all trying to figure our way through how to handle what's going on with the protesters, with racism, with the sad, awful murder of George Floyd. And it's just one thing after another. Of course, COVID is still with us and it's producing tremendous anxiety. And I think the best way to get through it, there's no doubt about it. You got to go work out. You got to do something.
Yeah. And it's really, I mean, if you want to get scientific, I mean, when we're stressed, our adrenal glands are producing more adrenaline than normal. So if you're not working out, you're not burning it off. And then it's just sitting in your body, continuing with that rev. So
you know what that does too? It builds inflammation. People, I never knew what that was until I got it this past year. And I started getting inflammation places. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I realized that's from stress. And if you just hang on to it too long and you don't release it somewhere, that's going to happen, which is why, your classes are amazing. So how many classes do you offer on is an app, right? We download it on the app or YouTube? How do people get it?
You just go to PlyoJam.com and it's all there on the website. And what we do is we release one new workout a week. Every day, every Monday, we release a brand new workout. However, you also, when you become a member, you have access to our library, which has, I think, almost 200 workouts in it. So there is no shortage of dance workouts. We have intermediate, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So kind of depending on what level you're at, 30 minutes and 60 minutes. And then we've also, in recent months, we've added strength workouts, stretch workouts, core strength workouts to kind of give a little bit of more well-rounded feel.
That's what I'm going to be doing because I need that, like, especially my upper body and stuff, because I've gotten lazy like a lot of people, right? I don't do what I normally do. And I kind of just sort of like, oh, I'll get back to it. So I'm going to check that out. And I will tell you, for the price of a membership or whatever, right? It's less than even taking one class. So you get all these classes anytime you want, 24/7.
Yeah.
For what? How much is it? Like $15? Not even
I think we're at $11.99 a month.
Okay, come on. That's 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah, it's maybe
one and a half. Yeah, that's amazing.
And we're offering a 2-week free trial right now also. So people can jump on there and give it a whirl.
That's amazing. Also, you're doing something with what we were talking about giving back, right?
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. So of course, like as a company, we've been very touched and moved and sort of appalled by some of the racial injustices we've seen. And it's just, as with so many people, we've taken pause to really think about it all. We obviously have an incredibly diverse audience of members. We have a diverse audience of instructors. And you're global. Exactly. We're global. I mean, our entire platform is built on the voices of Black artists. We, so many Black artists we dance to. And so we just really want to show our solidarity by doing a little something. And so this weekend on Saturday, Jason and I are teaching together a 1-hour class. It's on Zoom. And we're donating 100% of the proceeds to a nonprofit called Color of Change, which is a great organization that really fights to move Black equality forward.
I always say it's education. A lot of people aren't educated, and how they're talking about just all kinds of things that a lot of people didn't even realize and weren't even thinking about. So if we all educate ourselves to hear what's going on, okay, tell me how I can do better. What books can I read? What can I do? And I know that that's what you're doing with what you're supporting. So I just think that's fantastic. I think that's really great. A way to give back. I love it. Anything else you want to tell us about what you're doing, what people can expect in the future? When are you going to be back in the studio? Do you have any idea?
That is something, Jason and I were just talking about that this morning, and we're really not sure because, even as things start to open up, when we think about our format, which is extremely high intense, there's major breathing, major sweating. It could not be done in a mask. We're just not sure when that's going to occur. And that's why we are so thankful for the ability to do, virtual classes, and connect that way right now, because we don't know the future for that. And, but what's beautiful is we still have people getting certified to become teachers. And again, they're doing the same thing. They're going to be teaching online wherever they live.
Right. I mean, you've got up to like 80 instructors, right? You've got a lot of instructors.
Almost 100.
Almost 100. You've got almost like 1,300 people in almost what you mentioned earlier, like 30 countries. I mean, that's massive. You're pretty much covering the globe. So you're reaching almost even more people. And maybe someday, if it makes sense, you'll be back in a studio. Yeah. But for now, you are in our studio. You're in our homes. There's our studio right there, right?
Yeah. And our favorite thing in the world is when people take a photo or a video of them actually doing the workout and then they tag us and,
Oh, I got to do that. I got to find my photos too, because they were a lot of fun. I came in that day and I was doing a little filming too. That was so fun.
That's so cool.
Energy was unbelievable. I just, that's what I would like to say. And even as you come across the Zoom screen or your website, it's got that same video, the same energy coming through. So I love it. Yeah. Anything else you want people to know before I let you go?
Well, I would just love everybody to follow PlyoJam on Instagram. Follow me, Stacey Beaman, on Instagram, because we're super active, always talking about, the latest routines, the latest music, what we stand for, what we fight for. And, again, my true mission as a businesswoman and as a woman is just that I want everybody to feel worthy of movement, regardless of their shape, their size, their age. And that is just something that I'm going to continue to fight for.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I so enjoyed having you on. I've loved following you and watching you. And maybe we should ask people to send you their photos of themselves, right? Please. Doing stuff. Wouldn't that be fun? You could even start posting them on Instagram or something. That'd be kind of a fun little challenge to do.
Oh, please do. Absolutely. I would love it.
That'd be great. Well, thank you so much. And give a kiss, please. I guess you'll be together in one room, to Jason for me. And please tell him I said hello, because I love him. I think he's an incredibly wonderful human being, kind and warm. And clearly you guys connected from day one, and I could see why. So thank you. Stacey Beaman of PlyoJam, everybody. And again, shout out to the website, Stacey.
PlyoJam.com, PlyoJam.com.
Yes. Sign up. First month is free. I'm on there. It's a lot of fun. And I like that you can cherry pick your own classes. So there you go. Nothing to lose. Totally. So everybody, please follow Stacey. Please follow Jason, and also PlyoJam. That'd be great. And you can find our podcast, Deborah Kobylt Live, with Stacey, on Facebook, on YouTube. We post all of our promos on Instagram. And then after that, you can find us anywhere that you get your podcasts, which would be Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Honestly, just put us in there. You'll find us. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Stacey, and everybody, for joining us today for Deborah Kobylt Live. Go take a class and let me know how it works out. Your first month's free. And we look forward to seeing everybody next time. Bye-bye.